And how much did they get roughly?
He received just over $69,000.
Holy moly, holy crap. And how much, if you don't mind me asking, how much did you get?
I got 24,600.
Woo! Big man on campus, Bernie. Hey guys, what's going on? Spencer Van here, and I'm super excited because today I just finished up an interview with Bernie. Bernie just got a check for $24,625, I believe. There's a picture, I'll put a picture up somewhere here of the check. And I wanted to sit down with him, do an interview, and see what the heck he's doing over there to close these deals, and just kind of learn his story. And I thought I'd share it with you guys. So if you guys stick around, watch this whole short little interview I did with him. And then if you guys have not, and you guys want to register for the same training, or the same free training that Bernie used to get introduced to us and our way of thinking, I'll link that down below. And if you want to get access to the premium training that Bernie used to learn the exact tactics and strategies, step by step, to take him through the process that he went through to get his deal and make, boom, $24,000 again, there's a check. I'll leave a link down there, but we're currently having an enrollment special because yesterday was my birthday. So yeah, if you're in time, then you're in time, and if not, you're not. If the link is still there, I guess we'll still do it. So with that being said, guys, enjoy the interview. What's good, everybody? Welcome. My name is Spencer Van. I'm super excited to be here today. It's been a while since we've done one of these. I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm recovering from a little cold, so I'm a little nasally, so I apologize. But I'm very excited today because I'm here with the infamous Bernie. Bernie, your last name is Cooker or
Coker? Cooker. Just like the drink with an R in the end.
And here he is, Bernie. Go ahead and say hello, Bernie, and say what's going on, I guess.
Hello, everyone. Spencer, it's great to finally be on with you. I know you've been tracking me for a few weeks now, but we're finally able to work the details out.
I know. I'm excited to be here. And I know we've been talking back and forth for a little while, so it's good to finally connect with you. Yeah, man. So I just wanted to start, I guess, with kind of a little bit of your background.
Sure.
You know, what got you into surplus funds? What were you doing before? You know, who is Bernie? Who is Bernie?
So in around 2000, 2001, I got into the world of flipping houses like the rest of the world, and did that for a number of years. Things were going along very, very well until, of course, 2008 and 2009 happened, in which case I lost everything, literally everything. I even lost my own home. Wow. So these, unfortunately, these people that have gone through foreclosures, I can sympathize with them because I've been there, done that, and have the t-shirt for it.
Right.
So after that, basically, I went to work for a friend of mine for a while, and then I came across a gentleman. As I said, I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I came across an attorney who was based out of Philadelphia, who was also into flipping houses and so forth. And we just ran across each other one day, and he said, you know, Bernie, you're still into real estate? And I said, no, I got out of that a while ago. Too many scars from that whole world. And he said, well, you know, he said, I've had a better way to make money other than flipping houses. He said, what I do now is I help people who have lost their homes get back on their feet rather than trying to convince those people to sell me their house for pennies on the dollar, which is what you did when you were working in the pre-foreclosure flipping business.
Right.
So I was all ears. I said, okay, you know, fill me in. And he explained to me the concept of surplus funds, which I had never heard of before, even though I had attended numerous auctions, you know, where homes were foreclosed. Never really thought about what happened to the excess funds. And he explained to me exactly that he had built quite a sizable organization around that. And he said, you know, you can work from your home, you can work from anywhere you want. Yeah. And my brother-in-law had helped me somewhat in the flipping business, and he and I got together and talked again. I said, hey, you want to give the surplus arena a try? And he said, yeah, sure. So we kind of stumbled around trying to figure out what state we wanted to focus on, and we eventually settled in Florida. And because Florida, the states there make it a lot easier for people to do research on people's titles and liens and so forth than a lot of other states. And that's about the time I came across your course. And I was, this makes a lot of sense. It's great synergy with doing the delinquent real estate taxes, doing the mortgage foreclosures.
Mhm.
And obviously the numbers are a lot bigger with the mortgages than they are with the real estate delinquencies. So we went through your course, and I kind of split my time between working with my brother-in-law in Florida, and I focused primarily on California.
Mm.
And we've been through your course a number of times, because obviously you keep evolving it and keep adding things, which is great.
You were pulled into this business because your attorney friend, I think he said he was from Philadelphia.
Yes.
He talked about that, hey, we're here and we're helping people. And he said, because you had gone through foreclosure, it's easy for you to relate to these people. And that's something I've heard a lot from people who've gotten deals in this program, is that the key really to success is being able to relate to people. If you get on these phones, you get on the emails, and it's just like, hey, sign these documents, and like you're a hard salesman, like it's not going to work. Because, as you learned, and as we try to say, but I think people kind of have to go through it to really understand, is that, when you lose a house and someone's calling you, trying to help you, even if they are helping you, right? Like genuinely, like you're genuinely trying to help him. He doesn't look at it that way. He's like, how's this guy trying to screw me over? Like, that's the first question he's going to ask. And so you have to earn that trust. And it's so amazing to me that, he even asked you, he said, are you from California? You said, no, I'm from New Hampshire. He said, okay, good. I wouldn't work with you if you're from California. Like these people that like, they're in such a, emotional place in their life. I mean, as you can imagine, that they're not making decisions based on any logical, there's no for a lot of it is not logical. It's like, oh, he's not from California. Okay. That means I'll consider him. Right. Or, oh, he's not an attorney. Okay. I'll work with him. Right. Like it's so funny to me how that works.
Well, the other thing, Spencer, is the majority of the people that I've skip traced here, as far as the leads are concerned, they're in their 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And we all know today's world, the scam artists that pick on the elderly are never ending. This attorney, when he first explained the business to me, he calls it the Robin Hood business. He said, Bernie, we take from the rich and we give to the poor. And I said, that's a great way of thinking about it. The rich being the banks and the poor obviously being the clients. Yeah.
No, it's amazing. It is really amazing, the relationship you have to build with people in order for this to work, because on paper, it's such a win-win for everybody that you just look at it logically and that's a no-brainer. Why would anybody say no to that? And I've gotten asked several times by people who want to get started in the business, and they're like, Spencer, this doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why everyone's not doing this. Why would anybody say no? Like, why wouldn't you just call everybody just says yes? And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. If someone called you right now and said, hey, you're $10,000, would you say yes? They're like, yeah, I would. Okay. I'm like, so a complete stranger right now that you've never heard of says, no, you have to build a relationship with them. That's the secret. You have to build trust. You have to build a relationship. And then they're like, oh, that makes sense. And things start to click at that point. But, like I said, the people that jump on and they try to be the hard salesman and try to just close everybody right away, it doesn't work. You have to take the time. You have to emphasize with people. You have to understand that, they're in a very emotional predicament in their life. Even if it happened a while ago, it's still, no one wants to talk about that. It's not a good thing, pleasurable memory.
And the particular deal that we were talking about last night came about in late November. It was actually a gentleman that responded to one of my emails. And he responded literally within 5 minutes after me having sent the email to him.
Wow.
He was at work at the time, and he said, can you call me in a couple days, which was going to be a Saturday. Yeah. He said, it's such and such a time, and let's talk. So obviously I made sure I called him right at the exact time that he suggested.
Right.
And it was unfortunate. This gentleman was a veteran, or is a veteran, a retired firefighter.
Wow, yeah.
And someone who had taken some other jobs to make ends meet and had become hurt on the job. So he actually has had a workers' compensation claim pending for more than a year.
Wow.
And is not making any progress, he told me.
Jeez.
And that is why he developed a very bad taste in his mouth for dealing with attorneys.
Yeah.
And his first question to me was, Bernie, are you an attorney? And I said, no, I'm not. he said, okay, I don't want to have anything to do with attorneys. And I said, well, his name is Ronnie. I said, Ronnie, unfortunately, to do this claim, we do need to involve an attorney. But I said, I'll be the one dealing with the attorney, not you. So I'm the interface. I'm the one that will take care of all the issues. And I just need you to cooperate whenever we ask you for certain things. So he's like, you're not from California, are you? And I said, no. He says, I can tell from your accent. He said, where are you from? And I said, well, I'm from New Hampshire. Does that matter? He said, yeah, it does. He said, I don't trust anybody in California right now. He said, you sound honest. He says, you sound down to earth. And he said, I'm willing to work with you, and let's give this thing a shot. So sent him the paperwork. He turned it around within a day.
Wow.
And I forwarded it to David. And then we forwarded it to the attorney you were using at the time.
Gotcha.
In the meantime, unfortunately, my wife was told she needed open heart surgery right before Christmas.
Wow.
And that obviously was a major, major distraction for me.
Yeah.
But so I stopped marketing the business at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously focused on the deal that we had going with Ronnie. Mm-hmm. And I tried to stay, up to date and keep him informed. I would make sure I would call him at least once a week, every 10 days to say, hey, here's where we're at. This is what's going on. And we came across liens. I said, did you know you had a homeowners association lien? Yeah, I knew that. Okay, now the attorney thinks you might have some unpaid real estate taxes. Oh, I didn't know about that. Well, so that at least kept him in the loop, so he knew that I wasn't, somebody who just forgot about him. Mm-hmm. And Mona, I have to say, Mona, the current attorney, is excellent. I mean, I never sent her an email that they didn't respond to me same day. In some cases, within a few minutes.
Wow.
Obviously, I didn't bug her with stupid questions. I only contacted her when, I needed to give some information to Ronnie. And her and her paralegal, Teresa, are just wonderful. As things progressed, and then I got the word a couple of weeks ago that the distribution report had been completed by the trustee, mm-hmm. and that there were indeed funds to be distributed to my client and to myself, and that we should see something in a couple of weeks. Well, I mean, I was thrilled with that, because the other delinquent real estate tax business I do, there's nothing that pays this much on a particular deal. The deals over there are much smaller. This was the largest deal I've ever done. So needless to say, I was on cloud 9. And then I received the check yesterday. I got back to my office here. About 10 minutes later, the phone rings, and it's my client. Wow. And Ronnie's like, Bernie, I'm the happiest man in the world today.
That's amazing.
He said, I got the check just like you said. He said, it's actually for a few dollars more than you told me. And he said, am I still allowed to cash it? And I said, Ronnie, cash it. He said, but what if it's wrong? It's an extra $100. What if it's wrong? I said, Ronnie, if it's wrong, they can come and take it out of my portion, my finder's fee. I said, go cash the check. He said, man, you cannot believe what you've done to my life now. He said, this will be the bridge for getting me between now and my workers' comp settlement, hopefully sometime this summer. Wow. He said, I didn't know how I was going to make ends meet. Wow. He said, I didn't even have a car to get to work. He said, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to buy a used car and get our life back together. So that's the best feeling you could possibly have.
Wow. I know, that's amazing. Holy crap.
We made someone's life special again.
No, 100%.
And it was down on his luck, and couldn't deserve it more than anybody else I could think of.
Wow. And how much did they get, roughly?
He received just over $69,000.
Holy moly. Holy crap. And how much, if you don't mind me asking, how much did you get?
I got $24,600.
Woo! Big man on campus, Bernie.
Can use it.
That's awesome, man. Wow. Okay. So that's quite the story there. And so Ronnie's happy. Obviously, you're stoked.
I am.
And wow. And just to think too, and I just want to wish your wife the best. Has she had the surgery yet? Is she?
She had the surgery. Everything went well. It was a few complications, but she had excellent surgeons, and she's up and back and raring to go.
Wow. Okay. And so she's recovering from that. Awesome. Well, wish her my best.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah. And so, wow, that's amazing. And so I guess point number one, to go back to what I was saying, point number one is that I wanted to point out that you mentioned is you gotta be able to work with people. You gotta be able to build that relationship. That's number one. First thing that you mentioned in your story that I want to really point out. Number two is persistence, because I mean, you had every reason to just be like, screw it, this is not gonna work. But there's something that said, let me just try, right? And I think that is a huge key. Now, obviously, again, you kind of, I feel like, Murphy's Law, like whatever could happen to you, like, like when it rains, it pours, like that. I don't know what happened to you, but, at the end of the day, you managed to be persistent and consistent with it. And if that, I mean, you
with
tell
David's
me.
help.
With
David
David's help.
was a big supporter.
Well, I'm sure David appreciates that. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're the one making the calls. You're the one communicating with everybody. I mean, you even went and chased down a trustee that's not even in business anymore, which, it's like a wild goose hunt. So I'm sure that was quite the experience. But my point is, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I mean, that has to be probably, the most important aspect, other than building a relationship with people, of this business, is being persistent, even when you're like, dude, this is not going to work, just sticking with the plan, sticking
Absolutely.
with the plan, and was that something like, how did you get yourself to do that? Even when it didn't seem like it was going to work out?
Well, I think a lot of your videos and your course, Spencer, pointed to that. I mean, I think you set the expectations very realistically that persistence is required, because the majority of people you try and contact are never going to answer the phone, and they're never going to return your messages. You have to accept that. But it is a numbers game. If you keep making the calls and keep doing the marketing, you will get your share of deals. I mean, we see it in Florida, and I'm hoping that we start doing a little more business now in California. And it's out there. It's definitely out there. In fact, I'm excited about that mini course you put out there regarding the other avenue of potential with the unclaimed funds.
I know.
I've actually got my application almost completed for that.
Thank God. I know, we launched that mini course, and we did such a poor job announcing it and all that, because, we didn't, when we put it together, we knew there was a lot of opportunity there, but we're like, it's a good little side thing to do with the real estate stuff. We didn't realize, like, no, this is a whole business. And, there is so much potential there. There's probably, when we put it together, it's probably about 10 times the amount of potential that we initially thought was with that little mini course there is now. And so we're going to spend more time. The videos we have now, as you know, are kind of short and just to the point. We're going to spend some more time kind of beefing it up a little bit, making it a little more, just really getting and emphasizing the important points and making it a little better. But there's so much opportunity there. And so if you're watching this, and I'm glad you're taking action on it, but guys, please do not overlook the mini course. There is so much opportunity in that little course. It's unbelievable.
I went to the website that you referred to, and I downloaded the spreadsheet for everything over $500. There are so many line items. It got broken down into 3 separate spreadsheets. Each spreadsheet has about 250,000 line items.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous.
We're literally talking tens of thousands of opportunities for some substantial amounts of money. Now, it looks like a lot of those line items perhaps are people that have passed away. It looks like there are estates and proceeds from life insurance and things like that. But there's so many opportunities there, escrows and uncashed checks and dividends and all that kind of stuff. To me, it looks like another golden opportunity.
And so let me ask you this, do you know roughly how many contacts you made before you were able to get this one could kind of turn?
I'd say over 100.
I'm sorry, say that one more time? I did not hear you.
Over 100.
Over 100, okay. So we'll say 100, 150, something like that. That's probably about right. Gotcha, okay. So you're 1 for 150. That's not bad. And you made 24 grand. I mean, that's pretty good. Now, what about for somebody that is on the fence right now about the surplus fund business? What would you say to that person to be like, hey, this is, this could be for you?
Well, I'm not sure what else is out there that you can help people in the degree that we can help people, and at the same time make the kind of money that we potentially can make. I mean, I still get people approaching me, oh, you want to get back into real estate and flip houses? Do you want to wholesale houses? Do you want to do this? Do you want to go back into the accounting world? I've had people approach me about that. and I like working for myself.
Right.
And I like the fact that if I can just convince people we're legitimate, we can do so much good for them.
Right.
I mean, you can't, I'm sure you know the stories that we hear, the things that just tear at your heart and rip you apart, that, people are being taken advantage of. And like I said, I actually had a person 104 years old that I talked to the other day.
Wow.
Who lost her house.
Wow.
Now, if that doesn't tear at your heart, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
104 years old, and she didn't know where she was going to go.
Wow.
So I don't understand how you can do things like that to people.
Yeah. No,
a lot of the stuff in Florida is investment property, so you kind of say, all right, you lose your investment property, that's one thing. But when you're talking to people who are losing the homes that they need and depend upon and don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
I mean, this gentleman, Ronnie, he convinced a friend to let himself and his wife move in with this guy until they got this check. Yeah. So what happens if you didn't have that kind of a person to fall back on? So there's a lot of good we can do.
Yeah.
And we can make a good living doing it.
100%. Wow. Extremely powerful stuff. I think that's the other thing that I'd like to say, and we kind of touched on earlier, is, it's not, the money is great, obviously, $500,000 a year when you hit your goal is amazing. But at the end of the day, if you're making $500,000 a year, you got to do the math on, okay, how much money am I recovering for people? How much good am I doing? And that's a lot of good, Yep.
You're talking $2 to $3 million.
Yeah. And I mean, the amount of change that, you've seen it now with Ronnie. It's like the guy gets one check for, almost, you said a little over $69,000. Like that's life-changing for almost anybody, especially when, you're living in your friend's house or whoever, and just don't have any money, you don't even have a car, and you're just trying to get back on your feet. I mean, you can, as it's absolutely game-changing for him. And
Spencer, he had nowhere to go. He actually went to court and begged the judge to let him stay in the house for 60 days.
Wow.
Judge granted him 30 days.
Wow.
He said, Bernie, on day 28, the sheriff was at my door saying you have 48 hours to get out. Wow. So, how can you not feel good about helping somebody in that case? Yeah.
I mean, that's powerful stuff. I mean, it's really powerful. So that's amazing, man. And congratulations. And I'm sure you'll keep us running. One other point I wanted to make too, that you did, that I think you did a fantastic job on. And this is something we need to talk about in the program, because I feel like we mention it briefly, but not enough. We don't emphasize it enough. And so, you did a great job with this. Every single week, you said every 7 to 10 days, I'm calling Ronnie and I'm saying, hey man, here's what's going on. We found this, this is where it's at. This is what's going on. And, what that does is, especially for someone like Ronnie, who's going through this tremendous time, which a lot of people we're working with are, and as you said, is very, very skeptical upon everything, is you're giving them that comfort of, hey, I'm on your side. Here's what's going, even if I'm sure, and I don't know, you tell me, did you have a week or two where you're like, I don't really have anything to tell this guy. I'm just going to call him and let him know it's still going on.
Oh, and that's okay. A lot of the phone calls were exactly that, Spencer.
Yeah.
Ronnie, it's Bernie. Don't really have any more of an update. I know we're moving forward. Things are still progressing, but I don't have any major milestone to tell you, but I'm just touching base. You need to do
100% you need to do that. Yeah. And that's something that Dave and I can improve on really making sure that people know that, because just because you get a deal under contract, like that's step one, but you're building a relationship. Like, when you met your wife, it wasn't like you met her, you guys fell in love and you're like, all right, well, we're in love. I'm going to go over here now. And then no, you're like, wait a minute. I want to marry this woman. Right. It's not like you like get all the way there. You're like, all right, we're going to get married, but I'm going to go over there and I'll talk to you in 8 weeks when we get married. Like, you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So, it's the same thing with business. It's all about relationships, and you have to nurture that relationship and continue to let people know that you're there for them and you're helping them, especially people that are very, very skeptical from the beginning, which this guy clearly was. Yeah, man. So great job with that. And
Thank you.
I'm proud of you for that one. So awesome. Cool, man. Is there anything else that you would like to say? I don't think I have any more questions. Is there anything else you want to say, or any other stories you want to tell them? I'm all ears. This is your time, Bernie.
No, I just think your course is a great value. the fact that you guys continue to evolve the course and you don't charge anything extra for it. It's not like, you know, you get in there and then all of a sudden 6 months later you got to shell out another couple $1,000s. And you guys have been there when I needed you. So I have nothing but praise and good things to say about it.
Wow. Well, thank you, Bernie. I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Awesome, man. Well, congratulations again on the 24,000 bucks. Congratulations to Ronnie, wherever Ronnie is, on the almost, I mean, it's 69, almost 70,000 bucks. That's pretty awesome. And I'm inspired by you, Bernie. Hopefully the people watching this are inspired as well. And I'm excited to see, you know, in 3, 4, 6 months, 12 months, whenever we can connect again and you know, kind of catch up and see how things are doing for you in a little while. So, and again, I wish your wife the best. And yeah, man, I'm super excited for you. So thank you, Bernie.
Okay, you're welcome.
Congratulations again. And thank you everyone watching this, guys. Please, Bernie made it. Surplus Warriors, baby. There it is. Make sure, first of all, you guys have your Surplus Warriors shirt on, number one. Number two is, by the way, we're going to change the course. You have to wear this shirt when you make phone calls. Okay, you have to wear. I'm just kidding. But guys, Bernie hopefully made it clear. You guys need to go through that mini course. Okay, you need to go through the mini course. Watch the freaking mini course. Like, if I could come through the screen and slap you if you haven't watched the mini course, I would do that. Okay, you need to watch it. It's very good information. And you need to follow that because it just opens up a new stream of doing. I mean, it's a little bit different, but it's basically the same business. You're doing basically the same thing. A couple things change, but basically the same thing. And it opens up the floodgates of how many leads there are. You know, I mean, like you said, there's at least 750,000 leads that are over 500 bucks.
Yep.
And over 500 bucks is kind of a loose term. I mean, who knows how big they are? Who knows? You know what I mean? So they could be all over. Who knows? But the point is a lot of opportunity there. And then number two is build relationships with people. Okay, you need to nurture those relationships with the follow-up before and after you get the deal signed. Okay, and you need to realize where these people are coming from, and that's the biggest keys, I think, and persistence. I can't forget about the persistence and consistency. So the biggest keys that I learned from Bernie today are those. Hopefully you guys got the same thing. With that being said, guys, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.